Hi kids, I'm Veda, the storyteller. Today I'm going to tell you one of the best story from the book Grimm's Fairy Tales. Yes, the story name is Rumplestiltskin. So before getting into the story, I just want to tell you, if you want to know meanings of any difficult words in the story, you can check them in the description section of the video. Also, I request you to please close your eyes and imagine all the things, places, people, and characters. This will be a great fun, I'll tell you. So, let me start the story now. Rumplestiltskin. Once upon a time, in a certain kingdom, lived a poor miller who had a very beautiful daughter. She was moreover exceedingly shrewd and clever, and the miller was so vain and proud of her that he one day told the king of the land that his daughter could spin gold out of straw. What? Gold out of straw? Now this king was very fond of money, and when he heard the miller's boast, his avarice was excited, and he ordered the girl to be brought before him. Then he led her to a chamber where there was a great quantity of straw, gave her a spinning wheel, and said, "All this must be spun into gold before morning, as you value your life." It was in vain that the poor maiden declared that she could do no such thing. The chamber was locked and she remained alone. She sat down in one corner of the room and began to lament over her hard fate, when on a sudden, the door opened, and a droll-looking little man hobbled in and said, "Good morrow to you, my good lass. What are you weeping for?" "Alas," answered she, "I must spin the straw into gold, and I know not how." "What will you give me," said the little man, "to do it for you?" "My necklace," replied the maiden. He took her at her word and sat himself down to the wheel. Round about it went merrily, and presently the work was done and the gold all spun. When the king came and saw this, he was greatly astonished and pleased, but his heart grew still more greedy of gain, and he shut up the poor miller's daughter again with a fresh task. Then she knew not what to do, and sat down once more to weep. But the little man presently opened the door and said, "What will you give me to do your task?" "The ring on my finger," replied she. So her little friend took the ring and began to work at the wheel, till by the morning all was finished again. The king was vastly delighted to see all this glittering treasure, but still he was not satisfied, and took the miller's daughter into a yet larger room and said, "All this must be spun tonight, and if you succeed, you shall be my queen." As soon as she was alone, the dwarf came in and said, "What will you give me to spin gold for you this third time?" "I have nothing left," said she. "Then promise me," said the little man, "your first child when you are queen." "That may never be," thought the miller's daughter. And as she knew no other way to get her task done, she promised him what he asked, and he spun once more the whole heap of gold. The king came in the morning, and finding all he wanted, married her, and so the miller's daughter really became queen. At the birth of her first child, the queen rejoiced very much and forgot the little man and her promise. But one day he came into her chamber and reminded her of it. Then she grieved sorely at her misfortune and offered him all the treasures of the kingdom in exchange, but in vain, till at last her tears softened him, and he said, "I will give you 3 days' grace, and if during that time you tell me my name, you shall keep your child." Now the queen lay awake all night thinking of all the odd names that she had ever heard, and dispatched messengers all over the land to inquire after new ones. The next day, the little man came, and she began with Timothy, Benjamin, Jeremiah, and all the names she could remember, but to all of them he said, "That's not my name." The second day, she began with all the comical names she could hear of: Bandy Legs, Hunchback, Crookshanks, and so on. But the little gentleman still said to every one of them, "That's not my name." The third day came back one of the messengers and said, "I can hear of no one other name, but yesterday, as I was climbing a high hill among the trees of the forest, where the fox and the hare bid each other good night, I saw a little hut, and before the hut burnt a fire, and round about the fire danced a funny little man upon one leg and sang, 'Merrily the feast I'll make. Today I'll brew, tomorrow bake. Merrily I'll dance and sing. For next day will a stranger bring. Little does my lady dream. Rumplestiltskin is my name.' When the queen heard this, she jumped for joy, and as soon as her little visitor came and said, 'Now, lady, what is my name?' 'Is it John?' asked she. 'No.' 'Is it Tom?' 'No.' 'Can your name be Rumplestiltskin?' 'Some witch told you that! Some witch told you that!' cried the little man, and dashed his right foot in a rage so deep into the floor that he was forced to lay hold of it with both hands to pull it out. Then he made the best of his way off, while everybody laughed at him for having had all his trouble for nothing. The end. If you want more such stories, please tap on the subscribe button and get updated.